when I was in Virginia, I think it was New Vrindaban, West Virginia, New Vrindaban. So there's Vrindaban, where Krishna, grew up, reportedly, and it is a unique place. It's totally vegetarian. You can't have any meat, fish, eggs, or dairy there. If you do, you keep it on the down low, and you don't tell anybody about it. But it's not allowed in that city. And I was there when this Prabhupada guy, I was there in India, when there was a beautiful temple there, and Hare Krishna is kind of weird, and they're extremists, and they're really just practicing what they call bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is this chanting. So this is why you hear the Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, that's chanting. So that's what bhakti means. And so they're just performing, and they're just really practicing this type of, Hinduism, if you want to call it that, bhakti yoga. And so, but it's completely out of place here in the United States, especially in the 70s, where he came to New York City, and then, later on. And, anywhere you go. And when they really started chanting, it's just so out of place, it's so weird, and people think it's a big cult. I think there are cult-like aspects to it. Well, I was in New Vrindavan, and that was at the end of so that would have been around 1982, and when I was there visiting, I believe it was 82, I stayed there. So I was out looking at all these, religious orders to become a Catholic priest. So I went to the Dominicans, and I'll tell you the story another time, but I was at the Augustinians and the Paulists and the Franciscans and the Jesuits, and there's probably a couple I'm missing, but I went to a whole bunch of them. And on my way, I stopped at the New Vrindavan place in West Virginia, and I was just driving again the whole way. Well, I got there, and let me tell you something. There's a weird vibe. You pick up one of these, you go into this place, and you just don't feel something's wrong. I don't know what it was. There was something wrong, and I know what it was later. And but when I got there, I just said, there's something off here. There's something wrong. I went to listen to one of their little sermons, and the big guru, whatever they call him, he came to do a sermon, and he's telling the people there, how women are so much more stupid than men, and they have a smaller brain, and they're secondary citizens, and they're way below a man. Honestly, this is kind of the way the Muslims think in general. That's true. And that's the way they were thinking. That's the way this guy who started at Prabhupada, that's the way he used to talk. He said, they got a smaller brain. They're not as smart. Well, I'm not going to sit here and trash women, but there's very smart women. My wife, Rose McCauley, is very smart women. I've met lots of very smart women in my life. And so, that's just kind of an opinion. I don't think that women are dumb in general or anything like that. They're just a lot more emotional, and, men are less emotional, more maybe cerebral. But that's beside the point. So I got there. They're just trashing these women, and there's these women just sitting there in the back. I think they were like sewing or knitting or something in the back. Talk about, trashing women, being a big chauvinist or whatever. But it was a really weird vibe, and just in this place, there was just something wrong. I didn't know what it was. I didn't see anything weird. I didn't feel anything weird. The guy was talking bad about women, but that's not what was going on there. Now there's a book. It's called Monkey on a Stick, and you want to go read. What I found out later, there was some terrible abuse going on in New Vrindavan when I was there, and again, I think that would have been around 82, I believe, maybe 83. And the guy that ran the place, he was the head. He was one of Prabhupada's, the founder of Hare Krishnas. He was one of their main guys. There was I think there was 11 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And so, he was abusing children, he was abusing women, he was stealing from people, he was threatening people, he beat people up, he put them in the hospital. This was really a terrible guy, and I think they went after him and beat him up, and after that he went around with these big, massive attack dogs everywhere he went in case anyone came near him. But anyway, that's my story of New Vrindavan, and what a weird place and weird vibe I experienced when I was in that place back in the early 80s. That, by the way, that book, Monkey on a Stick, didn't come out until sort of late 80s, and when I got it, I really read the whole thing, and I just was like, wow, this was going on while I was there, and I knew there was something. I didn't know what.